but I think a fairly simple way of demonstrating to people what the nature of this disease is if you would just show us. Try to put your glasses on.
I'll be happy to do that.
Okay. All right.
I can't do it.
You can't do it.
No. Thank you.
By inference, then, I have to conclude that what I rather crudely set up the first time you and I met, the old ass wipe test, you can't do that anymore, right? You can't.
I am being fed now. I cannot feed myself.
You can't feed yourself.
At all. Any meal.
And when you have to go to the bathroom, you need someone.
Puts me on the commode.
Right.
Waits there.
Right.
Because I cannot sit. My trunk muscles have now deteriorated, so I cannot sit up straight. I'm listing all the time, so they have to hold me. When I'm done, they have to wipe me. They have to make sure that I'm held, otherwise I'll flop over. That's how far it's gotten.
How difficult has it been to adjust to that?
I have no shame, because that's a cultural phenomenon that we've had built into us. My dignity comes from my inner self, and the fact that I can keep myself composed and humorous if necessary, and fully human all the time.
You have written some new aphorisms that you wanted to read me,
Right.
And you have written them for a book that you are
Right.
in the process of, what, dictating?
My first posthumous book.
Yeah, well, I mean, if there's any way of doing a series of posthumous books, you're the fellow who's going to do it. Well, here, let me help you. You wanted to read a few. Are these the aphorisms here?
Yeah, these are additional ones.
Okay.
They're the original ones. Identify the way in which you want to die, with fear, sorrow, rage, gentleness, acceptance, welcoming, denial, withdrawal, or serenity. You may go through each of these responses, but try to dig deep for your courage to stick with the one you want most. That's what I'm trying to do.
Now, you're not prejudging. You're not suggesting that everyone is going to want to die with serenity.
That's why I mentioned all the others. Pick the one you want and try to get to it. I want to die with serenity. To keep connected and to let go. To be sad and to be happy at my loss of breathing function. I change my expectations from continuing to live to ceasing to live. That is one of the most difficult things of all.
Explain that.
All your life, all my life, all of our lives, we get up in the morning and we expect to live, to go on. I have to change. I have to switch that whole thing around and build up and accept the expectation. I'm not going to live. Very soon, I will not be living. So, in preparing for it, I have to do that.
I don't want to sop up all the energy you've got left, Morrie, but you tell me, as we come to the end of this particular phase of the journey, if there's anything left that you want to say to several million people who have now, you know, come to regard you as, in some small way, a part of their own lives.
The basic statement really is twofold, as far as I'm concerned. And we all learn it too late. To be compassionate with yourself and with each other. To be loving with yourself, towards yourself, and with others. And to take responsibility for yourself and for all others. If we learn that lesson, this world would be so much better place, and we would be so much better human beings. Compassion, love, awareness, and responsibility for and to each other. That's the lesson I've learned.
Why do you think it's so hard for people to learn that when they're in the full bloom of youth and vigor and have all their strength?
Ego, ego, ego. Vanity, vanity, all is vanity. If we could only see and take some detachment from our own ego and look at things the way they are, rather than the way we want them to be, maybe we approach those things I talked about. We're too full of ego. Now it has its positive aspects, of course. That's what makes you do things. But on the other hand, that's what makes you destroy things too. At Bosnia, Rwanda, wherever you go, people are acting out their ego. I am stronger. I will prevail. I will be powerful, even if it means kill you. We haven't evolved enough to have gotten to a place where we understand this. And so we keep on mutilating each other, unfortunately. Does that touch you somewhere?
Sure.
Okay. So those what I would say. And the last thing about death itself, I'm still saying the same thing. It's all a mystery. But I do believe there has to be something beyond. This material world is not sufficient given everything else that's happening. But what it is, I don't know. I promised everybody, if I can, I'll let them know. It's highly unlikely that I can.
I was just thinking, Morrie, that so often on this program I say to people, any last thoughts? Has a whole different meaning when I say it to you.
That's right. Any last